It's September 23rd. It's time for Watcher Weekly.
It's time for Watcher Weekly.
Welcome to Watcher Weekly, presented by Breather, a show where we kick back, chat, and answer your guys' questions to the best of our ability.
As always, if you'd like to submit questions for this show, you can comment over on our C tab. You can also check out We Are Watcher, We Are Watcher, We Are Watcher, patreon.com/watcher, facebook.com/watcher entertainment, youtube.com/watcher podcast, wearewatcher.tumblr.com.
Yeah, all those.
And today we're gonna be reacting to some of our very first appearances on camera over at the feed.
Whoa! I remember.
It's gonna be a good time.
I remember. In the meantime, it says, as far as I know, we are in the chill zone.
I think that was pretty
Yes.
chill right there.
Was that chill?
Yes.
You know what's fun? You know what's really chill right now? We can't
what's
go
not
outside.
chill?
What?
Oh, that, yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah,
that.
because the air is poison.
There is almost a beauty to it though, no? In
Oh,
the
to
sense
being
that,
trapped?
Well, the thing is, like, we were supposed to stay in our homes, and then we couldn't follow the rules. People weren't
Sure.
doing it. They weren't staying in their homes. And now,
yeah.
it's like nature was like, I guess I'm just gonna have to do something even bigger than before. Now the air's poison. Now,
Yeah.
Now what do you think about that?
Well, and to be fair, I don't know that we should be blaming Mother Nature for this. I don't think
Yeah.
this is on her. Lovely lady. Well, hey, what else? It's almost spooky season. Are you guys excited about that?
Ooh.
Nice change of topic there.
Well, it's not really spooky season because Halloween's canceled and I can't go to any of the events.
Well, but I mean, in a way, we're almost forced to focus on what is perhaps my favorite aspect of Halloween, which is just sitting around and watching scary movies, which is pretty much
could do
all
that.
we can do this month. Well, this also turned sad, so well, maybe it's just best for us to exit the chill zone, because the chill zone is the spill zone in terms of tears that are falling from our eyes.
So, announcements for today. What announcements have we got? Well, Puppet History.
We're nearing the end of the season.
Whoa, it just started.
Wowza.
I know, it feels like the season was never going to start, and then it started, and now it's almost over. It's crazy.
Which means we need to figure out what's coming up next.
Yeah, we really got to figure it out. Also, for the record, when this new season started, I think we joked like, oh, we got to figure out what show's gonna come up next. And I jokingly said that we filmed an entire season of Puppet History over the weekend. That's not true at all. That's a funny joke.
Yeah, we filmed it in one day.
No, it took several months. But yes, we do not have anything on deck, so we're gonna have to figure out how to... Anyway, we've got Curly Velasquez in this week's episode. I think we can all agree, one of our favorite humans.
He's such a jolly man.
He is a jolly man, and it's a fun episode about a story that is not as covered as some of the other stuff, so it's a fun one. As always, if you haven't signed up, if you go to watcherentertainment.com/enroll-now, every week we roll out a fun little newsletter. You can learn some more. It's fun to learn. One other announcement, we got new merch over on the Watcher store, some fun Puppet History pins. Some Puppet University pins. We got some tumblers in various colors that are worth perusing. You know what you can do? You can fill these up with liquid and then drink from them on a hot day or a cold day. Put some hot liquid in them. More importantly, you guys see what date it is? September 23rd. What's coming up?
Oh my goodness.
What's
Yes.
coming up? Huh?
Something very important, and it's slipping my tongue right now.
The election. If you haven't registered to vote yet, make sure you are. If you are registered, double check your registration status. Look below for some links. Talk to your friends, make sure they're registered.
And the link that we provided does help you see the state-by-state guidelines in terms of how to vote, because it is different state by state. So this makes it very easy. It's not confusing at all.
Do it.
Before we move on here, we want to thank Surfshark VPN for sponsoring this video. And as you know, it's time to turn into a pirate. In the ocean of online content, there's a lot of websites and little crab out there that want to steal your information without you even knowing it. But you could swim under the radar using a VPN or a virtual private network. You can stop websites from tracking your info and selling targeted ads to you. Nothing is creepier than when you have a conversation with a crustacean and then it pops up in ads to you, huh? Plus, with Surfshark's HackLock ID protection, you'll get an alert when some little jerk manta ray is trying to break into your email. Oh, but one of my favorite features of Surfshark is that you can see content not available in your area. So I can watch all my strange Swedish dramas on Netflix.
Because with Surfshark, you can just change your location and suddenly the world is your oyster.
Sorry, I had to find my bandana. I couldn't find it down there out in the sea. Anyway, so if you want both protection and freedom online, just click the link in the description and use the code WATCHER.
It not only gives you a whopping 83% off the regular price, but also 3 months of service, totally free.
And not only that, Surfshark offers a 30-day free trial, so you can try it risk-free. Money back guaranteed.
Thank you, Surfshark. All right, moving on.
Question time. You can get them over at the C tab and request them. And we're gonna start off with an easy one. It comes from Amaris Marner. Are you having fun?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, look,
I mean,
I got a mustache. I got a vest.
Yeah, you got all kinds of crazy stuff going on. You got like a vest that clashes with your shirt.
I don't give a shit.
Well, I like it. I'm just saying, I like the vibe, man.
Yeah, I've been cranking my AC because of the poison air outside, and sometimes it's a little chilly in here, so I just put on a nice vest. It covers my core. So yeah, I'm having fun.
not really.
Everything sucks, yeah.
I'm filming something and I want to have fun. It will be fun when I start filming it. It's stressful. It's stressful to get out there and put yourself out there. This was a good reminder for me to have fun while doing it. So yes, I will have fun, although I wasn't having fun.
I think this segues nicely into a question I picked for this. It's from Rachel Owen on YouTube. And they said, what is your favorite part of the creative process? Do you like pre-production, actually hosting and being on camera, post-production, editing, etc.? And when I first read that, I was like, well, they're all fun. And then it immediately occurred to me that I hate pre-production so much. And it's the most stressful thing in the world.
I hate it so much. Yes.
It's the worst. Eventually, I think you hit a point where you're building steam and you're like, okay, but then that sort of gets taken over by, well, then the shoot day is approaching and stress starts to pile up and you just want to get the shoot over with. It's like, okay, this is what we've got. Now it's up to editing.
I think the only part that is really just pure joy is the actual hosting and being on camera, because the pre-production is very nebulous. It's not like a task you have ahead of you where you have to clean your room. There's only one way you could go about cleaning your room. Step by step, you know you're getting towards that goal. Whereas in pre-production, you could work for days and weeks thinking you're going towards the goal and figure out, hey, wait a second, that's not what I want this to be at all.
Yeah.
And then for post-production, same thing. There's more nuance to it. It's not as straightforward as like literally just shooting it, because when you go out to shoot something, you've already done all the stuff where you could possibly mess up. You may make mistakes on set, but at the very least, you have like a pretty steady framework you're working within.
I honestly feel like post-production is less stressful than actual shooting, because no matter how the shoot goes, now it's up to you. You've got control over everything that's gonna happen. But Steven, right now you're in the pre-production pit, and that is not
Here's
an
the thing.
enviable.
It's not even pre-production. Well, it is, but it's like pre-production for a new show. So that, there's just
even
so
more
much
harrowing,
unknown. My favorite part probably is the production. When you're there and you're filming, you get to meet people. You get to, you know, just goof off.
It's also just doubly difficult right now because of all the quarantine, and production's a lot more fun when you don't have to worry about as many tech hiccups and stuff. Like when Ryan and I were out there doing Weird Wonderful, and we could just be goofs on the town.
We could be weird and wonderful.
Yeah.
It's all great though. I mean, we do this because we love it.
We do.
Little Star asks, how does it feel to always lose, Beef Man?
Oh,
I'm Beef Man.
You're a Beef Man. Ryan, you did say that you are really warming up to that nickname, right?
No, never said that.
You've said that.
How does it feel to always lose? Doesn't feel great. Maybe I should have gotten some wins there. Maybe if you went back and tallied the scores for most of the episodes, I actually won, but you know, I guess I'll have to take that up with the professor.
I think we've discussed this at one point, but I don't think it's simply a numeric history point thing. I think there are several algorithms. I think there's some sort of machine backstage where you enter various data in.
You sound like one of those Facebook execs when they're confronted about giving away user data.
Look,
well, you know, there's a lot of algorithms in the back door, and then it's kind of like the machine.
Yes, you are correct about that.
Last question here from Marsh or Marsha on Patreon. We're gonna be answering more questions from Patreon on Watcher Weekly Plus. What's your favorite thing to do in your free time? I personally just watch videos and sleep. That's actually what a lot of us are doing now in our free time.
I've never heard someone talk about sleep like a hobby.
I mean, look, I love sleeping.
I love board games. I'll shoot some hoops. That's my thing. I mean, if you want to hear us talk about hoops, here's what you do. We had a good conversation about that last week.
We did have a good
Which
one.
Shane chose that question. We never addressed that, but Shane, you were the one who picked it.
I thought it'd be a funny bit, and then it became insufferable, and I kept trying to end the episode. And it seems like I'm very angry when I'm trying to end the episode, but I was just bored.
Well, I mean, I love that you got tangled in your own web.
I've been playing I play a lot of video games lately. I've been playing this game called Spiritfarer, which is incredibly calming and soothing. It's a wonderful game. You play like a person who ferries people's spirits into the afterlife, but you get to build this big, beautiful boat.
That sounds like a good thing to do. I play a game that's not calming at all. I play Call of Duty, but I can't do any of my other hobbies, which I usually enjoy, which is like, going to the movies, playing basketball, going to Disneyland, running outside now.
Can't even do that.
Can't even do that.
Today, we're going to be reacting to our very first appearances over at the feed.
Yeah, it's like there's the video that we first remember appearing in, and then there's the video that we actually like hosted for the first time. This is how things would happen at BuzzFeed. Basically, someone would have a video premise, like people get spanked for the first time or something. That would go out in an email.
And then 100 people would respond,
me! Then that person would then choose who's gonna be in that video. And so there was kind of like this like weird, almost like a inner competition brewing for who would get into more videos back in the day. I don't know if it was like that for you guys, but I remember that was just kind of like the hierarchy, if you wanna call it that.
I remember the comments, like reading comments about yourself for the first time. That was super weird.
Yes.
I remember when there was a video, it was early on, somebody said in the comments, wow, Ryan and Steven are not the same person. We were in the same video in different frames, and for some reason, they thought the two Asian new guys were the same person.
Yeah, because there wasn't a lot of Asian faces at the time other than Eugene, and they saw Steven and I in the same frame, and they were all like, and they're like, brain exploded. So the first video I was like prominently featured in was my boss wanted me to make like kind of like a hosted investigation video.
That's my first video too, which by the way, when we get to mine, I'm very embarrassed. So again, I apologize to everybody out there that we're gonna have to sit through mine.
oh, I'm in this one too.
So a couple of days ago, I was catching up with a friend over drinks. We were sitting down chatting, and I turned to order another beer when he said, "Are you sure, dude? Don't you glow?" And I was like, "Glow? What the hell are you talking about?" And he said, well, when Asian people drink, their faces get red. Asian glow. But I didn't know. What was this Asian glow he was talking about? And why did he think I had it? And finally, is it actually a real thing?
Wait, so I don't actually play an ignorant white man. I play a white man who is very aware of Asian glow.
Well, no, the fact that it's is ignorant in the sense of just like, you assume every Asian glows. I guess.
Oh, I see, yes.
This is something that Ryan loves to do, not just for videos, but in real life, is go to strangers and talk to them.
That's true, I do love doing this. Right. I still had my doubt. So I called in some of my fellow Asian. God, I'm not gonna lie. It's painful to watch me do this for the first time, because I just remember this very much at the time was an initiative that our boss was pushing on all of us, because he wanted to see, I think, who could host videos and like could do investigations, and we were doing like mini docs at the time, and so we all had to do one of these. And at that time, I very much was like, I just want to do camera work. That's all I want to do. So to do this made me very uncomfortable, and I could like feel those feelings looking at myself doing this.
Wow, so you had your coworkers throw down drinks.
I did. That's Kane and Carol. Yeah, so now they're glowing. And this is...
So now they're glowing.
This is actually like a genetic thing. I forget what it's called, the scientific name for it. Other people call it Asian flush, but there are some Asians that don't glow because of their genes, like myself. So I do go talk to a doctor after this to figure out the cause of it and why some people do and don't. And, I actually was curious about this, which is why I made it.
Aw, young Bergara.
I was just about to say I look like such a baby.
2015.
So that's like,
you look like,
so I'm 23, 24 in this video. That was interesting watching that, because like I did get taken back to those original feelings, but also I actually remember editing that video. I'm excited to watch this one.
All right, before we start this next one, this is a, how do I explain this one? I did not know what topic to cover. I don't remember how I came upon this one in particular.
Actually, Steven, I do remember how this one came up.
Yeah, I remember this meeting.
Wow, okay, bring me back to what was the origin of this?
I recall that there was an actual BuzzFeed article around this topic that was kind of picking up steam at the time.
I just remembered that meeting. You were such like a soft-spoken person, and then you were just like, I'm gonna do this video about women's periods synchronizing. And I was like, game recognized game, you know? Nothing but respect. You know?
I regret this video being on the internet, by the way. So let's just do this.
Hey guys, my name is Steven and I'm a fellow here at BuzzFeed. This is gonna sound a bit weird, but let's just get right into it. This video is about periods.
Jeez. That was in the, what do you call it? The waiting room of the OBGYN, which I've never been to before.
Jenny!
Yeah, she's in Puppet History, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Did you just say that your periods are synced?
Yeah, so.
In this conversation, all I could really think about is how little I know about women. Like, how is that even possible? And is this something that every girl does?
Whoa, this is what Google looked like in 2015.
Jen.
Very funny work here.
Longtime menstruator.
So
That was Jen's idea. So the creative for this video was led a lot by Jen, because we were very good friends that sat next to each other over at the feed.
This is before the transformative experience of K-pop Steven.
Hey look, black hair days. I'm coming back to the black hair right now.
You're going back for it, yeah. Jordan!
This was a very awkward casting email. Like, hey, anybody have a roommate that you could tell me about this?
I need to talk to an expert. It's time for me to visit an open
People have a lot of problems with the fact that I interviewed a male doctor. I don't know. I don't know if it was a good or bad idea, but I was probably wrong. And so, yeah.
Doesn't back it up. But that was my cue to go and do my own research.
I'm loving these.
I like these transitional shots.
This video did very well, though.
The last period that you had.
Why? Why would I do this?
I don't know.
Was April 28th.
That's Tuesday.
Yo.
They wanted to talk about it, so.
I wonder.
I like that Steven has to point to himself and say what emotion he's feeling.
Yeah. Hey, look at that. You're linking to me. That's a shout out. That's a little synergy there.
Very sweet of you.
Last one, Shane.
Last one. I was in a few videos before this in smaller capacities, I think, but this was the first one where it was like we really got roped into something that was like an all-day shoot, but I did it. So anyway, here's this video.
This is Henry, and this is me, Keith. And over here, the beautiful Shane. And today we're calling cabs.
Oh my God, I forgot about that beautiful Shane.
Yeah, that was Keith's funny little nickname for me.
In Los Angeles that reminds them the most of home.
Take me to your food.
First off, we call a lift.
Our driver is...
So it was a really fun vibe the way they shot this, because they both had cameras. It's kind of a novel way to approach it, where they're both just shooting each other.
Similar to Unsolved, actually, because we have our GoPro cameras and you have your Osmo.
That's true, yes.
I looked it up on Wikipedia. It's a real thing.
Keith, at this point, I mean, Keith has always obviously been just a beast, but I remember like when he was sort of doing all this unscripted stuff, I mean, I was just like, man, that guy's a machine. He was like
he would churn out videos so fast.
He was like a Tasmanian devil. And as someone who was, I am always very like precious about producing stuff. I'm like, oh, I gotta really think this through. Keith would just like grab a camera and run outside, and then he'd come back with something that was incredible. Do you remember that one where he went to like Hollywood Boulevard to find the nicest bathroom?
Yeah, that's the one that sticks out to me the most, because like Shane, I was also, and Steven actually as well, all three of us, I would say, are very precious with pre-production, which is why we talked about it being so stressful earlier. But seeing Keith in action where he would literally have an idea, I would watch him think of the idea in a brainstorm and then go out of that meeting, pick up a camera, and then just go do it, and it would turn out to be a very fun video, was very, it was refreshing to me, but it was also a big learning moment, because I was like, oh, so maybe you don't have to always be so insane when it comes to making sure everything's perfect. So I do remember that as well.
I also remember, I remember this shoot being particularly kind of illuminating for me because they approach it in a way that I think informed a lot of my other unscripted content, where it's like, you just roll on everything or as much as possible, and then that gives you like infinite options when you're cobbling it together, because voiceover just goes such a long way. You can just, instead of worrying about like, well, what's his story gonna be here? You just roll as often as possible. I think Keith would always be like, just always be rolling. Just always be rolling.
Yeah.
Which, you know, makes the edit
It's good advice.
daunting, but it also just gives you more options.
Well, the beauty of that, like, is when you're the producer and editor, you already lived it, so you know what parts of the day you can pick out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So there's kind of, and that's kind of why the model at BuzzFeed was so effective, was because we were both producers and editors.
And this was also my first foray into food videos, where I experienced the thrill of just for a moment, fleetingly, living like Steven Lim does now.
You know what's interesting about this video is, Shane, you don't actually look that different than you do right now. Whereas I feel like Steven and I was a major transformation in terms of like, I feel like my face looked younger somehow, like skinnier, you know?
Well, this was 2015, so I was 28 when we shot this, so I had settled into my nearly 30-year-old self, you know?
Keith was one of the few who had like a legit style to his videos that were like, all the other ones were very much kind of like almost cookie cutter, like a taste tester, things like that. Like he was one of the pioneers of style, I think.
Yeah, and he was my mentor at BuzzFeed, so he's really my grandfather.
He is your grandfather.
I was gonna say, I'll tell you who wasn't my mentor, and it's Ryan Bergara, because that dude would not teach me how to light a set.
I drew a diagram for you. I don't know what you want me to do, man.
Would have been nice, mentor.
Would have been nice. Well, that about wraps it up, but before we go, we have some Patreon shout-outs to do, as we do these weekly now instead of chunking them up every month. And we love to shout them out and thank them for their support. And so we shall do that. I'll start. Thank you to Kirsten Prey. Thank you to Larissa Perez. Leander PL? Yes, thank you. Leanna. Levi or Levy, like the flood stops. I'm not sure. Lyndon Witebski, Lord of the Oreos, Volume 3. Careful, don't eat too many of them because. Lucina Henguez Mendez, Lydia Kagil, Madeline, Maggie Santmeyer, Masha, and Matthew Staffa. That's actually he's like my best friend. He's a person in Chicago.
Aww.
I didn't even know he was on here. There's only one Matt Staffa, let me tell you that.
Megan, thank you. Melissa, Michael, Min Win, love it, with a silent H, I hope. Mira Gupta, thank you so much. Nicole Garanzini, Nicole Stevenson, Obscuring, ooh, what a name.
Person.
And we have finally Person over here. Love it.
Birthday.
Thank you.
Petite Wonder. Plant Friend, everyone knows Plant Friend. Prey Monitor. Reagan, who is nothing like her namesake. Remington Carlson, Rentable Safe, Rosario Solano, and Sadie Moon.
Remington, if that's their real name, that's a cool name. Remington?
That is a cool name.
But thank you to all those people for continuing to support us. We very much appreciate it. Any last bits of things here? No? Next week, more announcements, exciting announcements, very big announcements. New Puppet history, check it out. Otherwise, we'll see you later, baby.
Deuces.
Deuces.